Blog Talk Radio.
Good night, everybody. We want to welcome you all to Blog Talk Radio tonight. Sorry for the late start. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are here. Before we get started, we just want to let you guys know that any of you who are calling in, if you need the telephone number, it is 657-383-1155. Again, the number to call in is 657-383-1155. Tonight's show, we have myself, Kenya. We have Sunny.
Hey, guys.
And then we also have Clint.
Hey, how y'all doing out there?
And tonight we are going to be discussing if celebrities are obligated to use their platform to acknowledge social issues. So we're going to jump right into that. Clint, I'm going to start with you. I mean, what's your take on that?
Well, to be honest, I was on the fence because in the beginning, I felt like, they're not obligated. I mean, nobody's obligated to do anything, to be quite honest with you. That's how I felt in the beginning. But, last couple of days I had a conversation with my friend, and he was telling me, he was like, bro, he was like, man, they speak, they have a voice for people who don't have one or that can't be heard. So now, I mean, some of them, on certain issues, like he felt like they deserve to be they deserve to speak out. So I had to think about it, and like he was kind of right. Because we had people don't hear people gripes from where we come from all the time. So when you get like a celebrity on a platform and they speak about what we're going through, sort of like with the guy that just did the performance, Kendrick Lamar. Uh-huh. He was just doing the performance, how in chains and stuff like that. Like we feel bonded. Brothers from the ghetto that feel like they don't got nowhere to go. He speaks for that. So I tend to agree now that I do feel like they're obligated to speak out because we support them. At the end of the day, they only have that platform because we give it to them. So we have stake in what they do. So it's only right that they pay that back.
Right.
Rita, what you think?
Okay, I think she's just having some issues with her phone, and so I'll step in there and she'll come back in later. I would agree with you, Clint. I think that I, too, felt exactly the same way you did. Like, you can't force people to be successful and then say, oh, but when you get up there, make sure you let these people know that we suffering down here. And it's like, well, I just want to play basketball, or I just want to sing, or, whatever it is their celebrity has allowed them to become. I felt that way too. Like, you can't force people to just get up there and all of a sudden become an advocate. Everybody isn't an activist. They're not an advocate. They want to see change, but they don't want to be in the forefront. A lot of times people are okay with being the Indian and not the chief, whereas the people who do the most talking about what you should be doing, those people, they talk like they're chief, but they aren't even Indian. They're not really trying to do anything. They're not trying to get up and make a change at all. And I'm talking about people on our level. So I do agree with you. In the beginning, I felt that way. And to saying, well, you guys that aren't celebrities, you don't do anything either. And this is your reality right now, every day. It's not their reality anymore. And, but then on the flip side, I said, wait, if they have the opportunity to get the ear of people who would never listen to us. Kendrick Lamar has been in front of President Obama that I know of twice already.
Exactly.
I've never been in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
So when they have these opportunities to be in front of people who can bring about change or who at least can highlight it, I do think they should say something. Why not? You're there. We won't have that opportunity. So I think that I say that to say there's a time and a place for that.
Exactly.
You can't force them to do it. We would like them to do it, but there are some instances, maybe if you're talking about Chicago, the gun violence that's happening there, yeah, it's happening everywhere, but it's so much worse when it's in smaller places, and the numbers are incredible. 300, murders in the first 6 months of the year is beyond any of us. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I want to touch on the point you made about them being forced. I don't think they're obligated to attack every cause.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't have to be on everything. They was. I remember we was talking a couple of shows ago about LeBron, how they were when the Tamir Rice verdict happened. They was trying to force LeBron to say something. You know what I mean? To do something. They didn't want him to play.
Right.
It's like how you gonna tell this man don't play?
Right.
For your cause. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to speak out. Like, he stood up for the Trayvon Martin, the Eric Garner. You know what I mean? He had the I Can't Breathe t-shirt. He spoke out on injustice. He can't be on everything. You know what I mean? So we can't expect them to speak out on everything. You know what I mean? Like you said, at some point we have to, us little people, so to speak, have to hold ourselves accountable and be big people. You know what I mean? We have to just stay the course and keep fighting these injustices on the ground running. You know what I mean? And not expect someone to come save us all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's my point with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool. It's cool when a Beyonce get out there, make a statement, you know what I mean, about police brutality. It's cool. I like that. But, it don't stop there. Just because she did it, it ain't like, okay, everybody fall in line. Like, no. You still got to do the work. You know what I mean? There's still work that needs to be done.
Exactly.
Yeah. And my perspective, with you guys, my thought process hasn't really wavered. I don't think that they're obligated to do it, but I think if you're going to be in the limelight and people are going to look up to you, and they're buying, like you said, they're buying your series, they're helping you get kick your business off or what have you. They should, not on every issue, but as you're going to speak up, like you got some people that speak up about the wrong things, but when you get some people that need to speak up about the right things, they should be using that platform to speak up. Like, they're not obligated, but I would believe that they should do something. They should want to make a change. They should see what's going on and want to do something to make a change.
Right. Absolutely. Do you guys feel like, let's say, we're talking about, black celebrities and white celebrities, or any celebrity of any race, do you feel like they're treated differently? Like, let's start with this. Black celebrities who do use the platform to speak on social issues. We had, more recently, Jada Pinkett, who stood up about the Oscar situation. And she was met with a lot of hateful, we'll keep it clean here. A lot of people started to show their other side. I mean, it turned racial really quickly simply because she felt like, the Oscars were not giving black celebrities and black actresses, not celebrities, black actresses and actors the due respect that they had earned. And I remember someone making the remark of, and this is where it got racial, that they felt like it was as if they didn't think that black actors and actresses would fill seats at the Oscars. So we're going to keep talking about all the white and or Hispanic actors and actresses, and we'll give them their due. But, maybe there's a black here, a black there, but let's just keep it like that. When we know, or anybody who's watched the Oscars, a lot of blacks should have gotten awards. They should have. And so she stood up and she talked about that. It wasn't really a social issue in the magnitude of, the Eric Garners and the Trayvon Martins, but that was one example. Clint, you mentioned Beyonce, that situation, that was another example. Kendrick Lamar, I'm pretty sure that he will not be asked to come back to perform after that performance. But it was huge. I wonder if they'll ever even ask him to do that. But what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I definitely think they're gonna ask him to come back. This is one of the most. It's one of the most. Yeah. They can't deny him. You know what I mean? It's one of the most popular and talked about performances. You know what I mean? Not just among black people. You know what I mean? Like, you know, a lot of white people, you know what I mean, on the internet was digging it too. Yeah. So I think they can't because it'd be too blatant. It'd be too blatant. I noticed one thing about, you know, when we compare black celebrities and white celebrities speaking out. The difference between the two is most of the time, if not all of the time, when black people speaking out, it's involved race. It involves race. You know what I mean? Unless we're talking about women issues. You know what I mean? Black woman issues. You know what I mean? That crosses the board. But 9 times out of 10, when the celebrities are speaking up, black celebrities are speaking up about injustices, it's about race. Our platform is different compared to where, you know what I mean, most white people, when they speak out about social injustices, you know, unless they're supporting blacks, you know what I mean, like their view is different. They're looking at different things. You know what I mean? Like I know recently the reporter Michelle Beadle, you know what I mean, she's like a little sports anchor or whatever. You know what I mean? She spoke out about domestic violence. You know what I mean? Because, you know, that's prominent among women because of the Ray Rice thing. Because when Ray Rice punched this girl, you know what I mean, she spoke out about it. You know, now a lot of people, she called backlash from that, from people, from a lot of men. You know what I mean? So her backlash was different. Her reprimand was different. It wasn't race related. It was more so gender related. So it's a big difference, the platform on which we attack social issues between blacks and white. Like I said, most of the time, black people is always mainly about race. That's just my opinion. What do y'all think?
I would agree with you on that one, Clint, because the thing is, you're right. I do think, and it kind of ties into our show last week, where we were talking about racial insecurity. Oh, hold on one second. I'm sorry. Let me pause there. We have a caller on the line. Hold on one second. Hi, caller. You're live on the air.
Hey, what's up? What's up, people?
Hi, Jabril. We were waiting for you. How's it going?
Hey,
what's going on, boss?
I'm a busy man right now. What's up? It's J-Ro right here, GFT Radio, each and every Thursday. I'm on my grown man right now. I'm playing manager. I'm playing husband. I'm actually up in Langhorne, PA. The wife had an audition. I'm up here with her, supporting her. About to head back to the house right now so we can continue this discussion. But I'm definitely tuned in. I'm listening right now. Great conversation going on so far. Hopefully I'm home within like the next half an hour so I can continue this. I got to hop in the car and get this ride on.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk to you in a little bit.
All right, definitely. I'll hit y'all up. All right.
All right, bro.
And it kind of ties in with our show last week where we were talking about racial insecurity. What you said, Clint, made me think about that because it does seem like the race card is played a lot with us, and sometimes it's not even warranted. You know, it's kind of really a race thing. It's more of a gender thing, or maybe it's just you. You know, and so I would agree with you on that. I just wanted to piggyback with you off of that one there. What other example were we discussing? And I guess another thing that I think about is, of course, we're journalists. I think that even when there are blacks versus Hispanics versus white journalists, when they're reporting, they're met with some resistance as well. You know, you can have a Diane Sawyer sit down and discuss race, and I don't know if it's because she speaks so softly. It's kind of like, oh, okay. But if it's a black issue, but if a black journalist is having that, there are times where the network, and No, I don't have any proof of it, but you can see how things have changed after maybe a black journalist is speaking on black issues, and all of a sudden they're saying, you know, well, let's cut to something else. Let's not get too deep into that. Or there are certain things that they won't even allow them to say because I don't know if it's because they think they're going to offend somebody, or it's just let's just keep being, you know, politically correct. Excuse me. But a white journalist can say the same thing, and it's fine.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, it's that double standard. It's that double standard that we got to deal with. You feel me? Like, I think at some point we just got to face it. It's a double standard. And I know, like, I want to talk about this co-host when she was talking about the Beyonce thing.
Yeah.
He brought up, her name was Tony Layren. Now, I mean, I think hopefully I pronounced it right. Mm-hmm. When she was talking about the Beyonce thing, she got mad. She didn't appreciate it because, you know, first of all, she's ignorant to what the Black Panthers want.
Right.
Nah, I mean, but she, you know, she compared them to the KKK.
Right.
So she felt like she was offended. She should speak out. You know what I mean? She even brought up Jay-Z selling drugs, this, that, and the third. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So now it's crossing sides. Now you're gonna have more white people and who have a platform. They're bringing up the race card. You know what I mean? They're calling us racist. You feel me? And she had this little back and forth with a radio host, Charlamagne the Guy. Everybody know who he is. You know what I mean? Right. He did something about called her a donkey of the day, whatever. So they had this little back and forth, and you could tell that. You know what I mean? Like she was real ignorant to like black issues. You know what I mean? She kept talking like she had you know what I mean? Like she had an answer. You feel me? So right now she's facing a lot of backlash, but she's also getting support. You know what I mean? So like she's using her platform to speak out against what she feels is reverse racism or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? So she feels like that's her injustice. So it goes both ways. It goes both ways as far as that nowadays that race card being played. They're playing it too now, and we basically we allow them to, or we gave them the ammo to, because 9 times out of 10, like I said, when we speak out against social issues, it's always about racism. You feel me? Like, and we always blaming. You know what I mean? That fire always aimed at white people. You know what I mean? At some point, we got to start looking at ourselves.
I agree. I'm not sure. Was Sharitha able to get her connection back? Do we know? No? Okay, so we'll keep going. I think I saw it the other day, and it was kind of funny when I was thinking about the show and doing the agenda and everything. And I saw somebody post on Instagram. They were just saying that John Lennon said, they were talking about when John Lennon said the Beatles were more important than Jesus, and that was the only time they've ever seen white people in an uproar. But it was, of course, Christians that were like, I can't believe you said that. And it was funny because they were talking, when the discussion that I was reading that it derived from, it actually was similar to our show tonight. So when he said that, and he was just, and this is one guy said it. He said, well, come on, the last time I saw white people in uproar like that, it was because John Lennon said the Beatles were more popular than Jesus. And he went, no, I'm not saying that, people. I'm just quoting somebody. I don't want any trouble. And it was funny because I was like, wow, I couldn't think offhand when I saw a white person stand up for any black social issues or anything that would have even affected them directly. I mean, yeah, we do differently, which is fine because we don't all have the same issues, clearly. But I really, watching that had me doing some more research on, when has somebody actually stood up and said, hey, we shouldn't be doing this, and hey, we shouldn't be doing that. There are celebrities now who are standing up for the water issue that they have in Flint right now, which
exactly.
I've been on for well over a year. Somebody's been close to 2. was that they were maybe forcing people to pay water bills or something like that, or they were removing from home because they were asleep or something.
Yeah, they were trying to make the people still pay the water bills, you know what I mean, even though they were getting bad water, which is crazy, you know what I mean. But like, it was definitely quite a few celebrities, you know what I mean. Right. I think, and even with that though, like it was crazy. Like I remember, I think Madonna, somebody sent some help, sent some money or whatever, some water. Then another, I think Game sent a whole bunch of money over there. But then it got to a point where other celebrities were challenging, you know what I mean, each other. Like, what are y'all going to do? You know what I mean? I'm giving this. Now, who else going to get this? Who else going to get them something? You know what I mean? So it was other celebrities using their platform to challenge other celebrities to use their platform. Now, when it gets to that point, I like that. You feel me? I agree with that. You know what I mean? Because now, you feel me? It's like, all right, y'all starting to get it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We're not, the people not pushing y'all pushing yourselves. You know what I mean? So it's to me, that's a better way to get it done. You know what I mean? When the people at the top forcing the people at the top to make things happen, instead of the people at the bottom, you know what I mean, trying to push y'all up, y'all pull us up. You did? You know what I mean? That makes sense.
Right. No, I absolutely. I'm with you. I would agree. I think when you mentioned his name, I thought about the fact that when I saw him, it's always so interesting with him because it's like whenever he gives to charity, I mean, this is totally off topic, but I saw the picture about the water, and he just had to let everybody know that he donated $500,000. Like, he put a receipt up there. Like, you saw the bank draft. You know, you somebody else. And I was just like, why do people feel like they have to go that far? If you send water, you send water. If you send money, you send money. It's one thing to say I sent $500,000, but then I'm like, why would he go that far to show all those drafts, this bank drafts and the receipts, and like, oh, so this is real, and that's just for my other account. That's not even my main account. And I'm like, okay, like, did you really mean to do it, or did you just want to? But that's neither here nor there. I thought about that, and I wondered.
But it do kind of relate because, you know what I mean, like he using it to promote himself instead of really dealing with the issue. At hand, you feel me? So like he using the platform in a different way,
right?
You know what I mean? He using it for publicity. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Trying to disguise it as, you know what I mean, him doing something big time. You feel me? Which is wild to me. That people do that.
It's almost like a backhanded way of saying, "But I said something."
Yeah.
You nothing else. It's like, yeah, but look how you handled that. You know, why would you just up and, you know, do all that you're doing? And he never mentions his music because, like you said, it's bringing light to a bad situation. But then it's in the same instance, it's like, well, the way you're doing it, though, it's just kind of, it doesn't even seem genuine. But in a situation like this, do you feel like it should be overlooked for what he's really doing because he's making, you know, he's reaching out to these people, or do you think that he should be held accountable for handling it the way he handled it?
I think it go both ways. At the end of the day, he still sent the money.
Right.
You feel me? So you can't deny that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's still a plus. But then it's like you got a side eye it. You got a side eye it. Like, all right, you sent the money, boss, but you trying to use it for something else, for another cause. You know what I mean? Like you trying to switch it. You trying to disguise it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Disguise your intentions. That's what it looks like. It may not even be that way. You feel me? You probably that's just probably who you are. You feel me? You probably just don't understand that it's coming off the wrong way.
Right.
You know what I mean? He probably don't even realize it's coming off the wrong way. But,
nah. You know what he's doing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to play devil's advocate, give him the benefit of the doubt.
No. Because you've done it 3 times. So the benefit of the doubt was the first time. Now, no. He knows what he's doing. So now I'm going to get for like a new album to drop soon or something.
And this is the flip side, though, but this is the flip side of celebrities hopping on social issues now, because it's almost like politics.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, your favorite politician is whoever's speaking to issues that affect you, correct? That's the person you're going to vote for. You know what I mean? That's the person you're going to vote for. So now you get these celebrities, they're speaking out on issues, you feel me, whether they're athletes, because at the end of the day, they're still trying to promote their brand.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? They still trying to make their money. They trying to promote their brand. So if they make themselves look good, all right, I'm gonna support this. This is a big issue right here. You know what I mean? If I say the right things,
right?
You feel me? People, it's going to make a big splash, and more people going to support me, and I'm gonna, you know what I mean? And it's going to help my brand. Sort of like what Kanye trying to do, but it ain't working. You know what I mean? You feel me? Because that's what he's doing. You know what I mean? He feel he got his platform. You know what I mean? So he feel like he's going to speak out on certain things, but he coming off crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not even coming off crazy to the public. When he probably do make sense, he would make sense if his antics didn't get in the way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Being all eccentric or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it's just getting in the way of the message.
Mm-hmm.
So once the message get lost, you feel me? Now you out here looking like a clown.
Right.
I mean, that's a perfect example. Kanye is a perfect example of somebody using his platform the wrong way.
Right. Right. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said that's just deep. That's just deep to me.
Right. I think when we, and I'm just going to, when you said politically correct, I wanted to bring this in. Even when we think about, the presidential debates that are going on, these people are, like Donald Trump is a celebrity. A lot of these people are celebrities in their own right, and they now have a platform. And Donald Trump has a platform. He's a celebrity, but, of course, when he's doing a lot of his debating or specifically after debates, he looks like a fool. It's like there's different levels to that. You can have him talking about social issues. You can have him talking about politics, anything of that nature, where it's just kind of like, okay, now you're just sounding stupid. Now you're spending more time clowning everybody else. I mean, we see the presidential debates do that every single time they come around. When it comes to politics, they'll spend more time in their campaigns slandering someone else instead of using that platform to bring change. That which is the reason why you want the rest of us to vote for you. So I say that to say there's different levels of when you're using the platform. It isn't just the social issues. Some of them are doing it in politics.
I think a better word than platform, stage. Why I like the word stage. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's like they putting on a show.
Right.
You feel me? Like it's all a show. At the end of the day, it's all a show. You know what I mean? Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear.
Right.
So like, what I want to see, you know what I mean? Like, action. You know what I mean? More action. Use that stage, you know what I mean? And give me some action on that stage. Instead of just clowning around. Because, like you brought up, I was watching that debate the other day of them clowns. And, like, it was almost embarrassing. I remember I was on Twitter talking. I mean, like, it was almost embarrassing to watch. Like, these are your presidential candidates up here. You know what I mean? Acting a fool, using this stage and acting a fool. You know what I mean? When really they supposed to be talking to us
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And give about these social issues we talking about everything. You know what I mean? Race. I mean, like race. The race battle that's going on in this country right now is like it's crazy. You know what I mean? It's like everybody against everybody. Then you got it's religions against religions. You know what I mean? People hating the Muslims hating the Christians, this, that, and the third. Nobody believing in nothing. You know what I mean? Like with all this stuff that's going on, and you know, people out of work, y'all got this stage to let us know what y'all can do for us, and y'all not giving us nothing. You feel me? All y'all doing is entertaining us with comedy. You feel me? Y'all not feeding us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And I feel like those are the people that are obligated to feed us, because those are the people that got power.
Right.
You know what I mean? These celebrities that we hold up, like, yeah, we want them to speak out, you know what I mean? But their voice really don't have that much power. You know what I mean? They're not in position.
Right.
You know what I mean? An actor can only do so much. An athlete can only do so much. You know what I mean? They can rally the people, cool. But you know what I mean? Them politicians on that stage, they got that power to make things happen, to make things go. But instead of y'all not feeding us enough. I mean, if anybody watched that Republican debate the other day, they know what I'm talking about.
Right.
They know what I'm talking about. Like, it was shameful to watch. It was shameful to watch.
Right. Well, let's delve into the black and white celebrity and how they are portrayed in the media just a little bit deeper. And I say that because the Peyton Manning situation, I'm not sure how many people have been paying attention to that. It seems like, just to, remind everybody what we're talking about, Peyton Manning, back in his college years, I believe, was facing a sexual harassment suit that just went away. And so what people were saying was that, it appeared nothing ever came of it. I mean, no one's ever said that someone was paid off or anything like that. At least I didn't see that. They just said whoever made it disappear. Then he became this big football star. And it was like, the black person would never went that far. They wouldn't have even drafted in the NFL. They would have been treated differently. I don't know, Clint. I think that all of a sudden, this thing was for years. He wins the Super Bowl, and now all of a sudden it resurfaced. It's kind of like why are they bringing it up now? I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think it's kind of it's something fishy about it to me. First of all, you know what I mean, as far as this Peyton Manning situation goes, something fishy about it. A lot of people think he should retire. So, they think it's kind of a way to force him to retire or whatever. You know what I mean? But then also we go back to the narrative before the Super Bowl, like we was talking about on some of our previous shows, about how they tried to make Cam, out to be not necessarily the bad guy, but the one that's not squeaky clean. You know what I mean? And then when the narrative about Peyton was he was the good, clean-cut, all-American boy. You know what I mean? So to me, I feel like it was somebody that was out there that was like, hold up. Wait a minute. He won the Super Bowl. He had his height. Everything should be a celebration. And like, nah, we're going to drop this. Because I don't think if he would have lost the Super Bowl, we would have heard anything about it. They was just in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and they lost, and nobody said nothing. So why bring it up now?
Right.
Why bring it up now? It sounds kind of fishy to me. Nah, I really don't understand it. And then at the end of the day, those cases were settled. They settled out of court. Now the thing is, like people say,
I didn't see that. So
yeah, they settled them out of court. So people say it got settled out of court, and then I think about around that was like in '96. Then around like 2003 or something like that, they wrote a book, and in the book they talked bad about her or something, and she sued them for defamation, and they settled out of court. Yeah, she sued them for defamation, and I guess that's the point. The story was out there. The story was out there already. You know, it's just that it was passed off. Like, they did her so dirty. They disparaged her so bad. You know what I mean? It was passed off as like he just mooned her or something, or he was mooning a teammate, and she just so happened to be there, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? To try to make it. But his teammate that was there wrote a letter to him, like, you know what I mean? Tell them you're lying. You know what I mean? Because that's not what happened, this, that, and the third. So, like, they reported on it, but, like, back then, you wasn't in the social media age.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like everybody, it was everywhere, boom, 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 like that. You know, and then, you know, times was different. People got to remember now. I mean, back in 96, times were different. So, you know, there was a lot of more, I said, chauvinistic, so to speak. So, you know, she probably won the court, but, like, you know, most of the public ain't care. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody get hurt. She ain't get raped or nothing, or this, that, and the third. So it was just probably brushed aside. But I do believe if that was a black quarterback like that, and that happened in college, he would have been kicked off the team.
Right.
You know what I mean? It would have been probably locked up, charged. You feel me? Definitely. Like, so it is a difference. As far as the media, I don't even think it probably would have been picked up in the media back then. He just would have been tossed aside. You would have never heard of him again. Just like so many other black athletes that had got caught up. Like, you just never heard of him again. You know, Peyton was bred for that. You know, he come from that big family. They got a lot of influence. So if that thing would have exploded, you know what I mean, it would have been a big deal. I think they just kept it quiet. You know what I mean, the All-American kid, he the savior of Tennessee. You know what I mean, he's going to bring us a national championship, this, that, and the third.
Right.
Let it ride. You know, but if it was, you know, like for instance, you know, they always would complain about the domestic violence in the NFL. You know, Ray Rice and all this. You know, but it was other white.
What's the guy's name? Oh my gosh, his name escapes me. Michael Vick. With the whole dog deal.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, come on, man. Like, come on. They, you know, when did the dog life come more important than the human beings at the end of the day? You know, I mean, I understand what he did was wrong, but it's still people to this day that don't want that man to make a living. You feel me? When you had other athletes of other hues, you know what I mean, ethnicities that did far worse.
Like Roethlisberger. How many times has he been accused of rape?
Exactly.
And they bring it up, and then all of a sudden they'll just back away from it and they won't say anything. You know, seeing him as being something else. And I'm like, okay, well, wait. Even with Ray Lewis, you know, he got into a bunch of stuff, and they swept it away. 2 people were killed that he knows of, that was from his team, that he was involved in, and it didn't go away. Why? He's the king. He's the team captain. He's important to the team. So listen, we need to just make this go away, and that's it. Whereas you have a Aaron Hernandez who got in trouble quite a bit, and some stuff was pretty rough. You know, when he went on trial, all of a sudden they remembered, oh, yeah, back in 2006 he got in trouble for that. Oh, and remember back in 2004, you know, da-da-da-da. Now these things are coming out, and you're going, well, dang, he's been getting in trouble all this time, and you guys are just saying something about it? So then when it was 2 months, the Patriots was like, nah, we can go ahead and cut this off, because you know what? I can't even help you in this situation. So sometimes they get so bad that they're just like, no, you don't have to cut him off. We have to make an example of that. So they're definitely picking and choosing black and white, who it is, you know, who's important to them and who's not, when they want to say something or not say something. And we just keep seeing that repeatedly.
You know.
You
Do we have a caller?
We do have a caller. Hold on 1 second. Caller, you live on the air.
I get so excited when you guys announce me.
Not that we don't know it's you, but hello, Jabril. Our co-host is joining us. Jabril, what's up?
Hi, yes. I have to apologize, but family business and things come up. But I'm definitely tuned in now. I missed the first 45 minutes, but I'm here now, though.
So are you going to chime in, Jabril, or are you going to keep giving us his resume here?
No. I'm gonna chime in. Like I know what the whole topic and everything was. I know we discussed this earlier in the week. And I got to start from my end. I don't know what you guys are on now, but the beginning, I don't feel that these celebrities and people of status like this are obligated to show they're not obligated. You can't obligate somebody to do something. If they choose to, they choose to. You can't force somebody. You can't force your views or opinions onto somebody else. I heard Clint talking about earlier about the whole LeBron James issue when the Tamir Rice verdict came out and things like that, and they were trying to force him to tell him he can't, not that he can't, that he shouldn't play. I mean, like this is this guy's lifestyle right here. Like his whole life is basketball, and for him to sit out of a game because your opinion on something that happened, you wanted to reflect on somebody else's status. Like him sitting out of a game, in my opinion, isn't going to change what happened or what's going to happen because you don't want him to play the game. So I feel that you shouldn't obligate these people and make them have the same. They might have the same views and things, but you got to also understand that this is these people's life that you're talking about. This guy sits out of a game, and then what? Next thing you know, you're going to want people to start sitting out of games for everything, and that's not going to happen. I mean, there's issues that happen every day, and you can't force somebody to have the same views and opinions that you have and want them to change their lifestyle and their living because you want them to be like you.
Right.
Exactly. I definitely agree with that. Now we want to get your opinion on we're talking about the differences of how the white celebrities white celebrities and black celebrities are treated in the media. So we were just talking about a couple athletes and all that. Like, do you think there's a big difference in how they're treated?
There definitely is. I don't know if you talked about it with the whole Peyton Manning issue that just came up within the last couple of weeks after the Super Bowl. You're talking about something that happened when he was in college. We're going years back, and that was swept under the rug. They kept that hush, and you didn't hear about it until now. Whereas you got a black celebrity that does something and it hits the news as soon as it happens. There's no sweeping things under the rug. You don't hear things 20 years later about somebody from the 90s or the 80s or the early 2000s that did something. You hear about it as soon as it happens. Now, I don't know if it's because of social media, if it's because of course it's definitely because of skin color. In my opinion, it's definitely because of skin color. These things get swept under the rug for certain people more than they do for others, especially people of color when it comes to things like that. So I definitely think there's definitely a big difference in that.
One thing I've noticed though, this is one thing they will swallow their own. Don't get it twisted. Like if they put let's go back to baseball. Let's go back to Mark McGwire, and he's hitting all them home runs. You know what I mean? They sat him up on his pedestal. You feel me? He was he was their hero. And they found out that man was on steroids. Oh man. It's like when you break their heart, they will destroy you. You know what I mean? They brought him, it was like after that his career was over. His baseball playing career was over once they found out he was using steroids. You know what I mean? They was devouring. And same goes with like Lance Armstrong.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, you see, remember them? Like he was their golden child. Lance Armstrong was everywhere. They found out he was cheating. What? They got him out of there. They got him. It was a rap.
They stripped titles.
It was a rap.
They stripped titles and records.
You remember? It's like he never rode a bike. It's like he never rode a bike. So if they, that's the difference. With us, they don't care. We don't got to build no pedestal and no nothing. It's like, all right, they can get us out of here. They get anybody out of here, they're going to get us out of here one by one. With them, it's like if they place you on that pedestal, you know what I mean, you let them down in some way, yeah, they're going to swallow you. They're going to swallow you whole.
Well, see, that's the thing. True. It's like when it depends on who it is. Because, like, for instance, I hate to bring this up as an example again, but I just gotta. The Beyonce thing. People were all over her. They were threatening to boycott. But she still has concerts that are being sold out. And I personally have never seen her concert tickets be as high as it is right now. Like, I've never seen it. I mean, people that I've known that have gone to her concerts before, they weren't $1,500 to $1,600 for regular seats. They were like, $800 or something like that. It was expensive, but, no one said that they were paying that kind of money unless they were buying VIP packages. So for people to say, oh, well, we're going to boycott, we're going to protest, we're going to do this because of her performance at the Super Bowl, you have those people who are ready to just write her off. But then because of who she is and I guess what she's done, there are more people who are going, whatever, I'm still getting a ticket. I'm still not paying my rent to get this ticket, and I'm getting me an outfit, and I'm going. So it's like it depends on who it is and what they're doing, because you have a Lance Armstrong where they're ready to write him off. Done. Lance who? He did what? Never won a medal. I don't know what you're talking about. Then you got Beyonce standing up, and they're saying the same exact thing, but it's not really affecting much for her, on the back end.
It's supply and demand. She's a hot topic right now, and she had this all strategically planned out. Oh, I'm going to drop this song. It's going to be controversial. I'm going to drop this video. And then I'm going to put out this world tour, and I'm going to have these expensive tickets. And no matter what, whether you love her or hate her, these people are still going to be out here buying these tickets. They don't care how much it is. Like you say, these people aren't going to be paying their rent or paying their mortgage or car payments or paying their bills. They want to go see Beyonce. She did it. She did it right. She's a hot topic right now. She has everybody talking about her, and she is the it right now. Everything that she is doing is because of everything that's happening right now is because of this video and song that she put out.
She fired her management team right on time, didn't she? Fired that management team. Get y'all out of here. Y'all wasn't ready. Y'all not thinking big enough. We're gonna do this right here, right on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
So, right before Super Bowl Sunday, we're gonna drop this song. Oh, explosion! Look what happened. That's crazy.
And here we go. What 2 weeks later, and everybody's still talking about it. It's been almost 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks, and it's still the topic of conversation every day. Every day is something new, and it has to do with Beyonce. I mean, there's so many other things happening in the world right now, but the talk of the town every day, every hour is Beyonce.
Exactly.
Well, if you guys are listening, for those of you that are listening out there, and you want to call in, you can still reach us. The phone lines are open. The number is 657-383-1155. Again, that number is 657-383-1155. Before we wrap up our first hour, first of all, that went by quickly. Like, geez, the hour is already gone. But if you guys still want to stay with us, we're actually going to start our after show in a few moments, in about 7-8 minutes here, 11 o'clock. We'll get that started, and there we'll be talking about some more current events and just kind of recapping the show, and you guys are still able to call in at that time as well. So look out for that. Clint, we were talking, no, Jabril. Yes. you were on the phone, so let me ask you before I go over to Clint. Did you want to elaborate a little more on the differences of how different races are treated in social media, the celebrities? Well, for one, specifically, I was talking about when Jada Pinkett, when she stood up and said something about the Oscars. And Clint and I were actually thinking earlier if there was ever a situation, not being funny, where a Caucasian or Hispanic or whomever had ever used their platform to stand up for Black issues or anything otherwise. Did you want to add on to that?
The Oscars, the whole Jada Pinkett and the Oscars and telling everybody to boycott, that was a funny issue to me because, I mean, you can sit here, you can tell people, oh, you know, there aren't enough Black people that were nominated, even though they were worthy of it. But, I mean, at the end of the day, these people are still going to continue to support these awards. They're still going to be out here making movies. To me, the Oscars, I don't watch the Oscars. I really don't watch the Grammys. I don't do award shows and things like that. So when she was telling people, you know, boycott the Oscars and things like that, it really didn't hold any effect to me. I mean, these people, Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whoever, you're still going to get put up for these roles. You're still going to be in these movies. You're still going to be making money, whether you get nominated or not. I don't think not being nominated doesn't take away from your skill or your craft at acting and things like that. So that right there was just kind of, to me, it was a waste. Have I seen the opposite of somebody else standing up? I personally can't say yes, I have. I can't recall any situation where I've seen anybody else, you know, take a stand like that when it came to an issue. So I don't think it was really that big of a deal. I mean, other people might say that it really was a big deal, but I don't think it was that big of a deal. I can't say for sure, like, oh, you know, like I say, I mean, people you're still going to cast Denzel and you're still going to cast the Jada Pinkett's and the Will Smiths and everybody else. You're still going to cast them in these roles, whether they get nominated or not. Doesn't hold any weight because these people are famous. They've already made a name for themselves. They're still going to be put in these roles, whether they get nominated. I mean, you got people who white people who've been in plenty of movies who haven't won Oscars, but you don't see them sitting up here saying, "Oh, we're going to boycott the Oscars because so and so hasn't been nominated, or so and so has been nominated so many times and hasn't won." I just don't. I never see it. I don't see that happening.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect example of using your stage for the wrong reason. It's like I think she had a stage and to go to talk about the Oscars. Like, who cares at the end of the day? Who cares about the Oscars? I mean, like we said a couple weeks ago, like that was just the wrong time. You know what I mean? The wrong fight. I mean, don't nobody care about that fight. So you're using your stage to fight something that don't nobody care about.
Yeah. In all honesty, like I say, I mean, I'm 32 years old and I could care less about Oscars and Grammys and I don't even watch MTV Awards, BET Awards, all of those. Like, I mean, if I like something, I'm going to go see it. If I'm going to go buy it, I'm going to go watch it. I could care less. Oh, Emmy nominated. We have this Grammy Award winner in this movie. I don't care who's in the movie. If the movie's good, the movie's good. If the movie's funny, it's funny. Like, I don't care if you won a Grammy or an Emmy. You could have won a Grammy for a comedy, and now you're in a serious movie. It holds no weight to me. Like, I mean, yeah, these people are out here working hard and trying to make their name and get these awards and everything. But like I said, at the end of the day, you're still getting cast and getting checks for whatever you're in, regardless.
I don't think that's what she meant behind it. I think it was, you know, literally exactly what you just said. You know, the fact of the matter is I'm out here working hard and this is what I'm doing and I'm better than some of these people that are winning. How are you just not acknowledging my skill? It doesn't matter that I made $20 million off that movie. Okay, yeah, I made it great. That's icing on the cake. But then I come down here and you're not even going to acknowledge the fact that I earned that $20 million. Like you're not just handing it out, but then you're giving it to people who, are you kidding me? They didn't even sell as many tickets as we did. You know, the movie didn't gross as much as we did. His performance wasn't even that great, and you really gonna act like I didn't win that? I think it was more of the fact that a lot of the actors and actresses felt slighted, like it was a blatant slap in the face that you're just not going to say anything. Like we don't have any talented black actors and actresses, or we only have two.
I think it comes down.
All these actors and actresses are in top, shows and movies and everything else. I mean, so how do you act like they don't even exist on that night? You don't want to do something that you're busting your behind for, and you know you're great at it, and it's been proven. And then when it comes time for you to get your accolades, they say over, no, we're not gonna give it to you. How fair is that to you?
So it goes to value. At the end of the day, it's all about value. Because at the end of the day, why are we giving the Oscars that much value? You feel me? Why should we be so upset that we didn't win an Oscar? Why are we holding that in such high regard and high esteem? You feel me? They never accepted us. You feel me? Like they. So why should we allow them to dictate, to tell us what is great?
No, but that dictates the cash flow. Because if you're Grammy nominated or you're Oscar winning, blah blah blah, that puts you in a different pay grade. So it's almost like how they say not black actors, men actors make more money than female actors. It's basically saying that the men get paid more because they're men versus women. It's same thing with people of other races. So basically what happens is it's a slap in the face because you're busting your ass doing the same thing of a person of Caucasian descent. The same thing they does, or might even do it better, and you're basically not getting awarded that to be able to say, oh, I'm a Grammy nominated, or not a Grammy, I'm an Oscar nominated person of that stature, and then have to be paid a certain amount, because I can guarantee if Beyonce didn't get a Grammy, she wouldn't be able to get as much. She wouldn't be able to pull gigs and get paid as much as she get paid. It's about money. That's like going to work every day and you got the same title. You've been there for 7 years, and even though you busting your ass better than Paul over in accounting, he getting all these titles and you still a clerk. Like, it's basically saying your work means nothing. You're getting paid average, and I'm doing the same thing everybody else is doing. So I mean, I get it in the sense of how much it costs, how much it is when it comes to money. But so they're not going to honor us. That's great. I mean, that sucks, but we could do our own thing. Yeah, that's great, but it's still not going to give you the money that you want, because everybody acts for a reason to make money. People rap to make money. So if you're not going to be able to get these to work to make even more money, then basically what you're doing is doing something you love, but you're not getting even paid what somebody else is doing the same thing you're doing, getting paid too.
I agree with everything you just said. But my point is, the only reason why it's like that is because we give the Oscars that value. Now, I mean, if somebody come up, oh, that's an Oscar win, so. Now, I mean, if you adopt that attitude, like the Oscars are not, if you don't hold the Oscars in that regard, in that high esteem, then the value of that award comes down. So the money that somebody that wins the Oscar will get will come down as well, because the value of that Oscar it's devalued, like the dollar. If the dollar's worth is not, you know what I mean, a euro could be worth more than a dollar.
In the music industry, you could be rapping for years, but you're not. But you're still a same person in your neighborhood. You're not really known. You do stuff to get known. So if you're somebody that's rapping out in the streets, going to every rap battle, you're the best rapper. It don't mean like it means something in your town, but you got nothing nowhere else. Like you do stuff to get fame, to get the money that the other people are getting. So I mean, like I said, I get it, and I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, it's basically like you're a blogger. But and if somebody you put your blog out there and you get traffickers, if somebody like your blog or whatever, if somebody hits you up and try to offer you money, you gonna want some awards that come with that bring you more money for blogging, and then you'll get those accolades to be known. If you don't want to be known, then you wouldn't do what you're doing. When it comes to entertainment, you'll be still on doing average, mediocre shows in your area, but you're not going to go anywhere. That's the same reason why people want to be big. They either go to New York or they go to L.A., the most common place to get discovered, to be known. So if you're doing all your best, you have to go get known. You want to be recognized by something prestigious as an Oscar or a Grammy or whatever type of award show it is. I mean, like I said, I get what you're saying, but you got to understand it from their standpoint of this is their business. This brings in money.
And before we go any further, I just want to make sure that people know that we're now in the after show hour. If you guys are going to call in, that number again is 657-383-1155. Again, the number to call in is 657-383-1155. We've now entered into the after show. And we just want to recap the rest of the show and kind of get into some current events. So before we do that, I don't know how many of you guys that are listening are fans of this show. I don't know if any of my co-hosts are fans of this show, but rest in peace to Big Ange of Mob Wives. I watched that show since the very first season, and watching her, because the show is now on the air right now, and they're airing their actual final season. This was their final season. And to watch her go through this cancer there again. She just got over through cancer. And then the show that came on this week, they were telling her about the nodule that was on her lung and that they thought it was cancer. And so I'm watching this, and I know died this morning. So it's kind of weird to watch her the season, you know, where and this is absolutely cancer awareness. This is real life. The fact that these celebrities even let us in to be so personal, you can't even go into a doctor's office with a family member sometimes without them saying, would you mind stepping out, you know, because of HIPAA, you know, I can't really have you here unless the patient's okay. But these people, these celebrities don't have to allow us in, and they're allowing the cameras in. I mean, this camera was in her specialist office.
Wow.
It wasn't like, be out here, you know, I'm going to go inside and I'll come on and tell you what they said. She literally was an open book with this thing, and it went from them telling her today about the lung cancer, but then it's been in the media that she had lung and brain cancer. So I'm wondering if at some point of the show it's going to come out, hey, you also have brain cancer. Because the lung cancer was kind of small. It was minimal. It was like stage 1 or something. And it was like, no, chemo. I mean, we called it earlier. Yours is actually treatable, you know, that kind of thing. And I just wanted to say rest in peace to her, because I feel like even watching this show, I felt like I really knew Big Ange. She was such a sweetheart. It's a good thing it's ending, because I don't know how the show would carry on without her. So that was pretty sad. I just wanted to say rest in peace to her. Yeah. Because cancer's big in my family. So to just keep kind of losing people to that, it hit me in a different way. You know, so that was why I wanted to say that. I don't know if there was any other current event you guys wanted to discuss during the after show as well, but Clint, if there's something you want to add, jump right in.
It's funny that we did this topic tonight on what we was talking about earlier. It was this show that came on ESPN. If I don't know, y'all might can catch it on Netflix. They probably show it on Netflix again. It's called Rise Up.
Yeah.
And it was basically touching on the topics that we touched tonight about, you know, people in position speaking up. You know what I mean, using their platform. You know, they brought up the LeBron issue, which is crazy, because we had for the people listening, the stuff we talked about on tonight's show, we had previously discussed already. So when I finally seen that show, I'm like, wow, they talk about a lot of the things that we're talking about. You know, one guy, he agreed, that LeBron shouldn't have had to, speak up or do anything. And the other guy, he disagreed. He felt like LeBron should speak up or whatever. But one of the reporters' name was Chris Haynes, and he was saying how he was harassed by the police.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, trying to get into his own house. He was arrested and everything. You know, they
that's the guy that was falsely arrested. They like tackled him.
That was the tennis. That was a tennis player. That was somebody else. I'm talking about Chris Haynes. He was like, he a writer, and he was trying to get into his house or whatever, and he ended up getting arrested. Then he filed a lawsuit and all this and wrote about it. His thing was the reason why he did it is because he wanted to bring awareness. He wanted to use his stage to show what's going on. And that's kind of, what Sarita was alluding to just now, James Blake, the tennis player that got attacked by the cop. Mm-hmm. He thought he was a criminal. He fit the description or whatever. And then James Blake, he filed a lawsuit against the city of New York because he said the same thing. He wanted to use it as a platform to bring awareness, let people know what was going on. Because it just ain't right. And that also ties into how, most of our issues and most of the things our people speak up against and about revolves around race, because we're still dealing with it and it's still, prevalent in our lives more so than I believe in white America's lives.
Okay, so you want that?
And I'm just my trending thing that's going on my head, what's going on social media now, is Donald Trump in this presidential election. I really need people to vote. Like, I really think that people need to register and vote. I know a lot of people who don't vote, who think their vote does not matter. They think that, what's my little vote going to matter? They ain't worried about such and such. They ain't worried about me. No, your vote makes a difference. Your vote, among many others, makes a difference. So please register to vote because the way this election is going right now, I really don't know, and I'm like really scared for the United States as a whole because we don't know what's about to happen. I just need y'all to vote.
Before you start there, am I the only one that noticed that Donald Trump got some type of hair restoration or something done? Because you got that little swoop in the front is a little full now. I'm the only one that noticed that. Donald Trump. Yeah, it's like I didn't know during the debate. Like I just kept looking at it. Now you're gonna act like I'm the only one that seen it.
No, I don't even. When he starts talking, I have to like pull him out because he just don't care.
He just looked like a rabbit. He just looked like a rabid dog. He was just attacking Jeb Bush. Anything Jeb Bush said.
He like he got sunburned.
Yo, he took
this fool is crazy on this.
Somebody has said something about Jeb Bush's website. So if you go to Jeb Bush's website, it automatically redirects you to Donald Trump's website now. If you go to jebbush.com, it actually Donald Trump bought out that domain name. He owns it now, so it redirects you to his website now.
That's vicious.
Donald Trump is winning. Donald Trump is winning. How do you buy somebody's domain?
Basically, he's a bully. He is a bully. And I just believe that if he get into the office, like I something like it's no.
I think it's a method to his madness. I think he realized. Now America kind of stupid, so they might mess around and let another Bush in. And he's like, I'm just run, and then I'm gonna just destroy Jeb Bush. But that seems like that's his mission now. He
doing what's it? He said he's gonna sue. He's gonna look into file paperwork against Cruz because he ain't even from America. He's from Canada. He is attacking everybody, and like his method is just crazy. And like I don't understand because every day his stuff go up higher, and I'm like, what is nobody not like? What are y'all? But then it makes you think that if he's getting such a high rating, a polling and everything, like it's a lot of people that think like him, and that's a scary thought.
First of all, they're not going to let Trump in here because they're like absolutely not. He's not going to be the one representing us. So although it is a concern and people should think about that, they're so disgusted with him. They're just like, no, No, he's not.
Yeah, well, some of them are, but his polling is high.
The party may be mad at him, like the Republican Party may be mad at him, but the people, he got the people. I've been trying.
That's the thing. Why people like him? Because he's not a politician. He has his own money. He's running his own campaign with his own money. He's not asking nobody for money. He's using his own money to run his campaign. He's saying what people probably thinking, and that's the problem. You got him saying what's on people's mind. You got him not asking for money, and he's not a politician.
This fool is crazy. Can you imagine him being the president, and you got him going against North Korea's president? And he's crazy too.
He's gonna build the wall, and anybody that's an immigrant is gonna be kicked out, and it's gonna be crazy. I just no, it's just not gonna be good.
Jabril, anything you want to add, sir?
What are we talking about? Current events? Are we talking about current events or just over like? Well, February's not over yet, but so far, Black History Month has sucked for me. Black History Month isn't what it used to be. I mean, everybody's talking about Beyonce. Beyonce is killing it right now. Kendrick Lamar is killing it. We got this young dude in Florida pretending to be a doctor. Why did he have to be black? Why did that dude have to be black? Why?
What? So this is not the first time you did that.
It's not.
Exactly. It's the second time. You heard his explanation, though? You heard his explanation?
Nah.
Yes. Explain this to me. Explain this to me, please.
You didn't hear about the 18-year-old doctor? Did you see his Doc McStuffins uniform and his picture, his website, looking like Doc McStuffins' brother?
Are you serious,
dude?
Yes.
Yeah. Yo, I want to know.
But he said,
what school? Was that Clint?
No, go ahead, bro.
Was that Clint? No, I was going to say I want to know who he went to and who he got to fund him, because this dude had a fully functional medical facility. They had a grand opening. He'd been interviewed on the news a couple of times. Like, he had all this stuff. Dude had a website. He had employees working for him. He had the whole thing. He had the whole package.
He claims he's on his stage.
What insurance company did he have? What insurance company, what board, whoever, like, who gave him accreditation to be like, yo, you can open up a fully functional doctor's office and we're going to give you all this stuff. Yo, it was crazy. Like, but dude, they say he was giving gynecology exams. He was in the doctor's office giving gynecology exams.
He's years old. He was being a gynecologist and giving out exams.
Yeah,
everything. You got to read his description.
He did that before.
Everything. He did everything.
Yeah. You say he uses electrotherapy, and it was weird because I'm thinking, why would a gynecologist, why would an OBGYN need to use electrotherapy? Like, what is going on? It was like, what he had on his page to describe himself as a well-rounded person, and all that. I'm like, what doctor says that? Why would you use electroshock therapy? What are you doing?
He was a planeteer. He said he was a planeteer. He said he used air, water, heat. He was chilling with Captain Planet doing all that. I was reading his description. It was like, I use air, heat, water. I was like, what kind of treatment is this? Like,
he is Captain Planet. He's a planeteer. He's from Captain Planet.
Yes, he was a planeteer.
He said, just because somebody put doctor in front of their name doesn't make them an MD. I said, oh, he got him. So basically he said, like, I never said I was a real doctor. I just put doctor in front of my name. And they fell for it. I'm like, wow.
That's crazy.
I'm like, wow.
Keep doctoring that thing.
You look at his website and how crazy it sounds, but he really had legit patients. It's like, it makes you wonder. Well, not make you wonder because you clearly know there's that many people who don't read. They will look at somebody, and they could be going off of just how they look, and they pick them or whatever it is they put in that little quick profile. That's on the little like if you go to your insurance pages and they have all the doctors listed. A lot of times people could pick a doctor from right there, but then they won't take the time to go to their website and read on this person because you could have looked at that and been like, what? If you saw his website, there's no a person with half a brain would have known something was up.
His picture looked like he took it at the mall. He went to the mall, the little photo booths that be at the mall. He was sitting up there holding his chin, all caressing his chin in there. I'm just like, yo, if I just saw his picture on the website, I'd be like, yo, I'm not going to him. Just off his picture alone, I'd be like, nah, I'm not going there. I can't do it. Dr. Love. Come on, really?
You know how stupid you got to feel to be a patient? Once you find out he wasn't real, like how stupid you had to feel, like you got to look yourself in the mirror.
Hold up. Do they still got to pay the insurance co-payments after they went to his office and now they found out he's fake? Do they still got to pay the co-payments?
They had no co-pay. That's how he was going. He was taking that Medicaid and everything. You know he was.
You know, I beat the charges last time. I'll do it again. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. He did this a time before.
Yeah, he was like, did you see his news conference? Did you see the press conference he had afterwards? Nah. He had a press conference afterwards, and all he said was, I want to apologize for the allegations. I'm like, allegations? Dude, you were a fake doctor. He was like, I just want to ask for respect of my privacy and my family's privacy. And that's basically all he said, was just like, respect my privacy. My lawyers are going to handle this. And that was the end of the news conference. It was like a 5 minute, not even 5 minutes. He was just like, just respect my privacy.
I
was like, yo.
What's this guy's name? I need to find him and go to his
Dr. Love.
And go see him.
Look up Dr. Love.
What?
Look up this Google Dr. Love. Dr. Love.
Yeah, that's his name.
Yo, Black History Month. That Black History Month took a big L this year.
Yeah,
they got
what it used to be.
Not at all. Not when I was younger. Black History Month used to be a whole big celebration. You know, we used to do all that. I heard a commercial on the radio about McDonald's. You know, the 365. You know, Black Lives, and I was just like, yeah. The only time I hear those commercials from McDonald's is in Black History Month. They talk about Black History 365, but you only hear about them for the couple of days, a couple of weeks in February, and then it's over with. And then they go into selling Shamrock shakes. Like it's over. It ain't no 365. Black History Month is not what it used to be when I was younger.
Nah. And then it's crazy now with so much information out here where you can find out more, you know what I mean, more history. And it's just still not the same.
Yeah. But people so used to being in school and learning about it. You can learn about Black history every day. You just go online and research. Go to a library. So.
But it's like a lot of the stuff, you know, now we realize like a lot of the stuff they told us was lies. You know what I mean? Not half truths. So now it's like, wow, you got to go back and cipher through all that information that they tried to hide from you. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a daunting task. A lot of people don't, you feel me, like, they just want to keep status quo. You know what I mean? Learn about who you learn about in school, this, that, and the third.
That's why that's why I got to check out our blog so they can see the faces of our history. Because it's a lot of people. I got one coming, and she was way before Rosa Parks. Everybody, you hear the name Rosa Parks. You're like, oh, she's the first person to hit. No, she wasn't. I got somebody coming. You'll find out who that was.
There's so many more.
That's the thing. They got to teach these kids more than just the basic stuff. Because I mean, I was in school. I graduated back in 2001 from high school, but I'm talking about like middle school, elementary school, and all you really hear about is Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. It was hundreds and thousands of more people besides. Like my son is 11, and I mean they're still learning about Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. Like, come on, you can't keep teaching the same stuff over and over again. I've been out of school since 2001, but my kids who are in school now are still learning the same stuff I learned. Like, there's more things that have happened, more famous people that you can touch on.
My daughter, last year, her history teacher wanted to know if anybody had the movie Selma. And, of course, I had it. So I took her to her school, and she said they watched that. And, I even watched that with her, and I explained to her, what was going on. Because, like, when I watch movies that got to do with history and black history, when she asked questions, I explained it to her. And even she had a hard time, like, when she first watched 42, the Jackie Robinson story. That's to her because, you know. I mean, but it's on us, too, as parents. We have to teach them their history.
Yes, definitely.
I know Tila Tequila, I think her name is, the young lady who's been in the news before. She, this kind of goes in with our show last week, she got on Twitter and she was saying how someone that lived in Houston or something like that told her she needed to stop using the N-word. And her response, I thought was pretty interesting. She said that if you want change, then stop using the word. You can't expect everybody to be listening to the same music and hear the word and it not be embedded in their heads. And personally, I think she made a good point there. Because if you have, like, she brought up one of Nicki Minaj's songs where she's used the N-word over 100 times. Well, if Nicki Minaj has an audience of blacks, whites, Hispanics, and everything else, and they're constantly hearing that, and then, I've been around people of different races where they'll start rapping a song and then they'll say the N-word and they'll keep going. Like, they just keep rapping the song. They're just saying it, and it's like, oh, my bad. I didn't mean to say, like, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of going. And then they get used to saying the word. Like, would you guys agree or disagree? Like, what do you feel about her statement? That if you don't want me to use it, then stop using it, because now it's kind of, I'm hearing it so much, it seems like it's okay to use. Clint.
You hear people rapping along the songs, and you can think of another song.
Clint, are you still there? Did we lose Clint?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, yeah. What did you think about it? Do you think when it comes to, what do you think about what she said? That because she's hearing it so much, she thinks that if black people are using it so much, it seems to other people it may be acceptable if you're using it as much as you are.
I mean, I think it's just a cop-out. You feel me? I mean, I can see a point she's trying to make. You feel me? But she's just trying to make that point so she can have a reason to say it. You feel me? And I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of them just like to say it. Like, you feel me? Whether they hear it through music or not. You know what I mean? So you can't just keep blaming music. You know what I mean? That plays a part. Trust and believe that it plays a part. But you feel me? Even if it wasn't music, she'll still be finding another reason to be saying it. You feel me? It's the movies. You know what I mean? It's my friends say, you know what I mean? You find all types of excuses, so I don't buy that.
Okay, Sweet, what about you?
No, this is one of them things that it's going to be said, like Chris said, it's going to be said regardless, whether it's in a song, and it's like, you really, like, in some instances, they just sing, like you said, they just sing along to the song, and then they realize it's like, but it's like you already said it. So, it just sucks.
Yeah. Jabril, you want to put a take on that?
Like I said last week, that word just has too much power to it, and like Clint said, I mean, regardless if it's in music or whatnot, he said it perfectly. That's just a cop out, a way for her to get away with saying it. That word, it's never going to go away. I mean, it's here. It's not going to go away. But it just has too much power, and whether it's in music or not, it really doesn't matter. I mean, it's going to be said. That goes back to the old joke. Like, if you got your white friends in the car and you're listening to a song and that word comes in, they're not going to censor themselves. They're going to say it. They're rapping along with the words of the song. and they're just going to say it. It gives them an excuse for them to say it. That's just how it is.
Right.
Okay.
I just thought of.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Rita.
I say, I just thought of. Anybody ever seen the movie White Chicks?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You remember them? They were in the car and they was singing that song, "Making My Way Downtown," and then they switched the song and it was 50 Cent song.
Yeah.
And they all looked around and it was like, and they all just started rapping along to the song and they were saying everything.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of that because it's like they say it, they just don't want to say it around us. I mean, but it just made me think of that scene real quick.
Okay.
People.
Yes, this was a pretty good show indeed. For those of you listening, we will be back next week. Well, thank you guys for tuning in with us tonight and discussing Celebrities Obligated in order to stand up for social issues. So we definitely want to thank you guys for listening in on that as well. We'll be back next Thursday, February 25th, same time, 10 o'clock, to discuss a new topic with you guys. And you guys always have the opportunity to get in touch with us and let us know what you want to hear. What is it that you want to talk about? Myself, I have a Facebook page. Kenny Funches is my name on there. You can also reach me on Twitter, Raven, that's REBB, Raven609. Clint, did you want to let everybody know how to reach you?
Yeah, you can hit me up on the Twitter at eTrentonGloomy or on my blog site, kingstruth.com.
Sarita, you want to?
Oh, yeah, I am Sunny_D on Twitter. You can reach me up on my blog, unreservedlyme.wordpress.com. Go ahead, Jabril.
Keep it simple, JRO609 everywhere. Google, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever, JRO609.
I like it, Jabril. Again, thank you guys for tuning in with us, and we will see you next Thursday. Same. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.
Night, folks.